Though I've told my story a million times, it's just ever since I was like going out on my own, it was them mirroring my phones, hacking my phones, getting into the business of my life, creating this proxy war zone. So somebody's wife was like captured by my own data. Um, they know who they are. But there was never any network marketing. It was never about network marketing or being a plan to get rich or make money for me. It was a plan to get access to me, to continue watching their person of interest, which was me, and I didn't understand that it was my own brothers, you see. But now I do, because after this many times of being abused with arsenic, since I was freaking 2 or whatever, you realize it's the same feeling all the time. It's not schizophrenia, it's not depression, it's not anxiety, it's called a freaking cold and calculated activity going on in the backgrounds of your life. So you realize you're in a covert warfare, but you don't realize where that covert warfare is coming from for a long time. So it was always instigating somebody else in the mix of whatever relationship that I had going on, so that they could not only have a party that's going on in the background of your life, but having a party over your life, like literally, where they have your information, they are stealing your ways away from you. They're trying to taint your relationships in a way that it's nothing's organic. And then when you do have an organic relationship and it's outside of proxy and it's like not keeping you within proximity, then it's a problem for them, because they legitimately act like demons, and demons don't want you to be loved. They want to rob, kill, and destroy your life. And so these people have problems. They have like some serious problems. Because not only are you finding out that the people that'll persecute you aren't just like random people out in the public, but they're people that are legitimately right there the whole time within your family. And within my personal story, it was because when I was young, they didn't know I could walk, and I walked in on them doing what they were doing. And I believe that wholeheartedly that my dad would put something in my mouth called trioxide arsenic poisoning, and then from then it carried through to my brothers and others growing up, because they couldn't always be, those 3 people couldn't always be the ones to poison me and into keeping me all lost up. And so it's like a horror story, because you're like horrified inside, but you can't really determine what it is that's happening to you. You just know that you're feeling stabbed all over and you're seeing stars, because your body can't breathe down to the cellular level. And then because you can't breathe down to the cellular level, and like you're of age and you're in ages, like 0 through 5 or 0 through 8 or whatever, where you really can't determine why it's happening to you, but or why anything's happening to you. You can't see what it is, and you just have no reasoning skills. And so, with that being said, like when I was young, I'd get really weird, like warts, and like all over my body in weird places. And so there were never like heat bumps or never like heat rash. It was always that. It was always what they were doing to me. And so I think that that was the same thing with the pilonidal cyst, is that someone put something there to get infected and blow up so that I would have problems going into the hospital, having issues. You know, this is later in life, but with the pilonidal cyst anyway. But growing up, like, it would be these warts, you know, they would just come out of nowhere. Not only couldn't I reason through those things because I wasn't fishing and I wasn't playing with frogs and I wasn't, you know, there's just nothing. And so even the doctor at one point said that sometimes there's no reason for them. They just happen. But that's not what my case was. It was more than that. It was these things that were being done to me to keep me washed up out of my mind so that I could never speak out and because my sister couldn't speak out and face her accuser, which was my father, who had also threatened her life. And so she was on the stand at 5 years old. But I've never taken a stand against my father because they never allowed me to take the stand against my father. And even if I could have at that age, I would have been so wiped out of skull, I wouldn't have known what words were, what they even were, like how I could even string words together. Because I was stuttering, I was having a problem with my speech. And then they called it a speech impediment, which it never was. I learned how to speak through it, and even though I learned how to speak through it, it was still really slow and no one wanted to hear me. And still no one wants to hear me. But that's why I started, like, later in life here, after I figured it out by proxy and all these people kept me within proximity. I wanted to get away from them, and I wanted to get away from them for a long time. And when you're poisoned up, you don't see it. You're like, you know, you're running away from these covert operators, but you don't know who they are. And then so when I finally did figure out who they were, excuse me, I just wanted to be able to get away from them, with every right to get away from them. And I moved out here. It was like right after that I was telling Jesse, like, I just wanted to do my own thing because I already had stipulation about his character, and I couldn't see and remember that he had just poisoned me up in the last place, 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 in my work, over the last place besides my last workplace. He came in there and poisoned me up, and then that place I was in with my roommate, he came in the door and he poisoned me up. And so I'm really sad about it all, you guys, because anyone that's like in a 28-year relationship, they would be like totally willing to have that conversation with you if they cared. Or if people care about you, you'll never have to actually question the contents of their character in the first place. But I had not only questions, but I was finding out exactly who these people were. By memory, finally. And it took me so long to get away from them. It took me so long. Because, like, when you're poisoned up, it's like all of a sudden, like 20 minutes later, you're like going to the perpetrator that's doing it as if they're your best friend. Because you don't remember. So, like, you're literally like unable to literally move away from them in the general because they're keeping you within proximity, and then at the same time they're like not wanting you to get away, so you're like asking for your energy back and calling your boundaries in to like set boundaries, and they're just breaking them over and over and over and over and over, like without a qualm about it. And it's all because of what happened when I was younger, because, or that's where it extended from, because like my dad, he's just a total biatch. Like there's nothing that's good about that man. But there's no like me coming out of a long-standing poisoning that determines my character. That's my character being biologically controlled. So if they like want to take a hyperbole of a situation where I'm like lashing out because of an arsenic poisoning, it's just completely wrong. But that's what they're trying to do right now within the system, and it's just completely wrong. And not only that, but they're like, I've been being like premeditatively murdered all along without being able to see, to reason with the murder itself. They wanted to make that murder like look like as if it's all organic, like just me, myself, that's it, all, it's my own choices, la-di-da. It's never been that, though. Every time I've been falling to the ground, it was something. And it probably took, like 4, 5 times. Later on here in life, when I was homeless, I fell to the ground after he brought me to the guy's place that I was working for. And so I fell to the ground. I remember going to the Lord, like, please hold my memories, and I'm going to lose my memories again, and I don't want to lose this one, oh Lord, because if I lose this one, then I'm going to not remember him. Like, I've always not been able to remember these people doing it to me. Like, 10 minutes passed, or 20 minutes passed, or an hour passed, or whatever it is for the time, and you just completely lose yourself. You don't know. You don't have control anymore of your memories. And so I was like asking the Lord to lock it in Jesus' mighty name. And it's like the thing that saved me, because I only held on to it till like halfway home after coming to pick me up, because I ended up taking poison. I ended up trusting him again and losing memory of my distrust of him. And so losing memory of my distrust in him, much like I did my own brothers at times, much like I did proxy-made lovers in my life to continue keeping me within proximity. These people know what they were doing. It's like being in an open-air concentration camp. And so when I'm in this way and I'm in this open-air concentration camp, all of a sudden I'm poisoned up. I have memory for like 5, 10, 20 minutes. After that, it's usually gone. Well, this time was serious because it was like to take me out. It was like to leave me there to die. And it was literally like take me there to then give me this, to like leave me there to die. In like 94-degree weather, I think I remember it being. And like I looked that up, and I specifically thought to myself that numbers help you, because memory is correlated with numerology and numbers. So the more numbers that you can remember, the better chances you're going to have to remember this. Well, obviously it worked for a longer period, but after that nightfall, I don't remember. And that's when I was picked up, and that's when I'm with him again, and he's playing like he's friend, you know. Well, he was never my friend. He was always a proxy friend to keep me within proximity of what these other people couldn't continue to do. And my brother even admits it. I have a text message that admits this. So I don't know why that admission wouldn't matter inside a court as well. But the fact of the matter is that I'm speaking the truth. And that's the part that sucks, is because they're trying to run game on me as if it's all just in my head. I had a bad dream, la-di-da. It's not it. It's not it at all. And so I don't care how these people hide. They're not going to rob God from the truth. And I just hope that I can get some justice while I'm here on the earth, because my life has just been so cursed by these people doing this to me. And so I hope that I can get your support to recognize these things, because when I lost my places and I would go homeless, or I'd go, from place to place, or living with my mom, going from place to place, or I'd be taken away from there and having my stuff thrown away again, It's like nothing of mine has ever been of anything of value to anybody else but me. And it'd be like, even at times I'd have legitimately 12 pairs of shoes gone. And my bed that I just got, my dresser and couch and table and chairs and dishes and everything. So you collect all of this stuff again, utilizing your energy, your time, your resources to collect all this stuff again, and then it's just a wash again. It's like your stuff never matters to anybody. You can lose things as many times as they need you to lose it, because they don't give a fuck. They simply do not give a fuck. As far as my brother's concerned, he not only wanted to take my money, siphon my energy, steal my NTF money, have these people within proximity of me to be able to take my card when I'm sleeping, like my own girlfriend, to take my card and just make it look like a transaction that's me. It'd be like gas, it'd be like cigarettes, it'd be like food, it'd be like whatever. Just whatever, And if you trust these people at the time, you're not able to see this stuff. You're working hard. You don't have time to you don't have time to be an investigator, plus your own doctor, plus your own investigator, police officer type of activity while working to save your life as a arsenic individual. You just don't. You don't think to reason, and you don't reason to think, or you don't see to reason or reason to see what you would otherwise see. As a person that has the ability to speak like I'm speaking now, I wouldn't have had that ability to speak like I'm speaking now. So when I'd lose my things and I'd finally be in a place, and I'd finally get to a place, that's where Kenny would come in the mix. And especially if I had an organic relationship, he'd want to sabotage that right away. So no one was there to actually support me with what I had going on. I mean, my mom did, my sister would, but these men, these guys, all wanted to keep me within proximity of their warfare against me, because they didn't want me coming into the mound state of mind, calling back my energy, ever, because I needed to keep me within proximity of their heist, basically, like an Italian job. They have all these key players in place, like the guy that's gonna be, opening the vault, the guy that's gonna get in the vault, the guys that are gonna be on the lookout, the guys that are gonna be on the outside, the guys that are gonna be or if it's a bank robbery, the guys that are gonna be holding up the bank, Point Break, the movie Point Break. That's another good one. They're all wearing masks too, mind you. And that's kind of what these people are like. They're in masks. In their own faces, they're wearing a mask. It's fake. They're fake. They feign love. They don't care about love. They feign love, so that they can break in your life in that fashion, have access to your data, store you here, store you there, steal from you here, proxy war you there, or have a proxy relationship here and there, so that they can continue doing what they couldn't do on their own anymore. You see? And so when they do that, they want to control your life, specifically so they can lead you to a place of total identity erasure, total identity theft. It's about leaving you desolate in your land. It's leaving you desolate in your job. It's leaving you desolate in your home. It's leaving you desolate in your love life. It's leaving you desolate in your family life. Everywhere you can imagine, it's leaving you completely and destitute. And so you're going for help, then all of a sudden they don't want to help. They want to continue to hurt. So next thing will be like your hot water be shut off. You'll need to be chelating. You'll need to be taking care of your body. But now that you can't do that, you have to figure out warm water in a split second. They don't want you to even have that, so now they're taking away my water at the same time as keeping me within proxy, unable to talk to me like grown-ass adults do, or grown-ass adults would. Because the reason I say that is because they pushed me into these places. 72-hour hold, homelessness, in the homeless shelter, to keep me within proximity of their war zone. Their spirit, it's a spiritual war zone, and a very physical, metaphysical war zone that you're in, to keep you within proximity so that they can completely identity theft you. And the goal is to erase you. The only options that they have is making you so bad that you're suicidal. So they want you to be suicidal, to create a suicidality. The other option is having someone kill you, or by proxy kill you. So those two options are dying. The other option is in jail, which is what they're trying to do now, based on what I said coming out of a poisoning, which was never me. And then because I'm coming out of a poisoning and I'm feeling that same rage and reaching for love that just isn't there because it wasn't, it's only feigned, that love, so that they could keep me within proximity of their crime against me, you see? So that's why, like, when I was in the place before here in St. Paul Park, it was Jesse Lee coming in there poisoning me, and then I couldn't even explain it to my mom that night. I wanted to, but I was already washed out of myself. I wasn't feeling right. And then that's why my brother came with the stirred up Metamucil, with whatever he stirred into the Metamucil, telling me to take it all. Well, I took it like once or twice, and it fucked up my stomach, even all the way up until now, because I have a blockage, and like, they wouldn't even look, like, they didn't even want to look at me correctly, or they couldn't even look at me correctly when I did get a colonoscopy, because the guy that did the job looked at me like with such ennui that he knew the truth, I felt, but he just couldn't tell me the truth because it was just so bad, like, and so ever since I've been just doing water and trying to do lemon as much as possible and trying to break everything up, whatever. But it's making me sick. Like, they made me sick when I was 5. They made me sick when I was 3. They made me sick when I was 7. Every place in my life where I've been really super ill has been because of them the whole time. And so all I've ever wanted to do was get away, rollerblade, work my Heartworks mission, get my website up, because I couldn't work a regular job. They'd find me, or they'd hire somebody to find me, to do stuff to me, to murder me. And then, even if I'm working by myself, in many areas, or gig app community, perfect, gig app community. They wanted to not only hijack me, mirror my phones, instigate to know like my GPS and location at all times so that they could instigate third parties to cause a scene, either cause an accident or be somewhere within proximity to get my food messed with, tampered with, whatever. Pay someone, you see this person, they'll show a picture to somebody. They'll say, you see this person, I'm going to give you X amount of dollars if you put this in their food. Oh, really? I'll do that. Okay, cool. Here's the money. You know what to do. Just call me when you do it. So if they can get you all out of state or you're unwittingly being poisoned just in a regular event, like they know where you frequent, they know where you go to eat, they know, or they can get to people, is what I'm saying. Within gang stalking programming, they can get to people, and money does wonders. Like, someone's being offered $5,000 to do something, or like $500 or whatever it is. It doesn't matter, because these people, and there's a lot of them, these people want to stay out of jail for a premeditated murder. You see? But that's what it is. It's premeditated murder because they don't want to be caught for their actions. They only want to be exonerated to get you drugged up enough to where you flop to the ground and you die. And so I knew it was death and murder when I was in the homeless shelter. Just that one day for like 2-3 hours. After that, you don't remember that it's even murder. You're going back to the people who are trying to murder you, like, hey, how's it going? Because if you don't understand arsenic, you just don't see the reason to see. So without your reason to see these things and see these people for exactly who they are anymore, well, they're your friends. They're my family. They're people that are in my corner with me. You see what I mean? But they're not. They're really not. So anyway, I hope this makes sense. That's why I'm saying this. But if they're like taking away all of my resources and allowing me like not even the availability of being able to be present inside of their own court hearing, because they're such babies about like me knowing the truth about this stuff, that they're just trying to stop me in general so that they can create a warrant for my arrest, and then they can come after me. It's just one thing on top of the other on top of the other. Because not only do they want my wallet, they want everything in my house. I just got it. I haven't even been able to unpack. I just got my bed, I just got my bed and I just got some of this stuff put back together. Like, I have a drum set. I wanted a PA system, and I wanted to, like, work on my dreams. Well, good luck working on your dreams and being happy when you like writing about love and devotion. So now instead of writing on love and devotion, I'm writing on all of this stuff. You see? So it's like I can't even write on the things that I would normally write about. I like going out and taking pictures and photography. Well, I can't even do that anymore because they've gamed up my life so completely where it's to leave me destitute, to literally take away my house, take away my car, take away my jobs, take away my love life, take away my resources, take away my availability to even be checked out on the physical level. And it just tallies from there. It's everything. They literally want your wallet. They want your time, energy, resources. They need all your passwords so they can shut you up. They want to hack you, take you offline. They want to leave the impersonated version of you up so they can paint you as crazy and unstable. You see? But they're taking things way out of context. This is what they're doing. Way the fuck out. Way far out of context. These people are murderers. And that's just the bottom line. And they never wanted to talk to me about the contents of their character long time ago because we could have gone to family counseling. But it's just like that. In that counseling session, They have it on record even at Nystrom and Associates. They have that conversation on record. Play that for the courts. I shouldn't even have to go to court for me to have people prove this for me. Plain and simple. They have everything already. But instead of utilizing anything in my favor, they're stealing everything. They've even hacked my whole medical history. A bunch of places. I have the letter. So they want to steal up not only that letter of proof, they want to steal all my other proofs of them like being on Credit Karma the whole time. I haven't had access to Credit Karma. It's been them the whole entire time. So my life has been under attack. It's been under control by these people, and I just reserve the right to get away from these people, but I don't necessarily know what to do anymore because no one's coming to my aid. I asked the police how the investigation is going. Are they investigating? What are they doing? I don't know. I can't even wash dishes. I can't even bathe. I can't do anything. I can't do anything Matthew would do. Can't work a job. Can't do a gig job. Can't even do my own thing. They want me dead. Dead in jail or in an institution. Gang stalked. And so if people want to make that out to be a mental health issue, they're wrong. They're flat out wrong. It's called premeditated murder. Plain and simple. And it's been happening to me since I was a baby. A fucking baby. Because that's how big of a bitch my dad is. That's how big of a bitch these brothers are of mine. That's how big of a bitch Jesse Lee is. That's how big of a bitch any and all of these girlfriends that would work within proximity of their crime against me. And trust me, there's many other names I'm not mentioning here. But they did. They fucked up my whole entire mind when I was younger. They know exactly who they are. Some of them I loved very, very, very much. And I never could have ever wanted to see them doing and acting this way towards me. But they did. They did. And they hurt me really bad. Like, really fucking bad, dude. They psychologically fucking destroyed me. I'm out of here. I feel bad that I can't have my own life to live my life how I would want to live it.